Dr. Roxanne, we just saw you a moment ago.
Oh, I know.
Questions?
What's
Any
that?
things I can help you with?
No,
Or
I, I'm just still in that space of recreating this office. Like he said, he's semi-retired. I don't want to retire. I just want to get it so it's sustainable and stuff. And I guess what I keep seeing is maybe I don't have the niche as clear as I would like. And so I wanted to create some like a hybrid practice, but I wanted to create packages or things online that I can sell, which I have created. It's just getting somebody that's consistently helping me with it and classes and stuff like that. So I don't know. I'm not making probably a whole lot of sense because my head's kind of spinning on it,
yeah,
you
let's
know.
unravel this. Let's start to unravel this. So
It's go ahead.
go ahead.
Well, I really have I really I really like, I'll be honest, I like doing like women that can't get pregnant. I know it sounds crazy, but that's not what the office is at this time. And so I think I'm putting out some mixed messages because I'm never going to get up the chiropractic side. I mean, that's kind of like, I'm an old Gonstead doctor. I'm not going to give that up. But at the same time, I got a lot of these older patients, but if I had a choice, if I had to start today practicing at a 20, whatever I did when I was very young when I started, I think I would have gone more towards like doing infertility and young kids because the kids are so screwed up today. So I really like that end of it. And so I have all that movie I've talked a little bit about. I have all, I mean, I've gone to doctor, but I also have all this background in functional medicine and blood work and also the genetics and a muscle tester. So I can put these protocols together. And I got a couple women just recently came in and both of them they would lose pregnancies, early on. And I find that fun to do. But at the same time, I've created a elite magnet and all this stuff on what to do for preconception, and I can do a lot of that stuff. And I also like doing the little kids that have all this gut issues. But at the same time, I'm over here and I look at the practice and I'm thinking, man, I've been treating these people too long, you know, as I'm not into doing Medicare. And so, and I probably get in a lot of trouble because I don't want to do Medicare. But so at the same time, I'm just trying to see, I have two offices going and I need to really focus on a niche and kind of go for it. But I guess I'm not making a whole lot of sense because I've been thinking so much about this in the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, you're
Uh,
making sense.
Pardon?
You're making sense.
Yeah, it's just like, I really, if I had a choice between treating a 65-year-old person or a 60-year-old person, I'm going to go to the kid. I rather treat the young kids and their 6, 7, 8 year olds or 10 or 12 year olds. I find that more, I get more out of that
Yeah.
than I do. And so, I just, I do send out regular emails and I try to kind of keep them neutral, but I don't keep them neutral, and kind of mixing them up. And so, I'm constantly doing education on patients and I do have classes I do, and I have done the chiropractic side of it, but I also have a whole lecture series I do just on gut and gallbladder removal. But that does nothing for these preconceptions. But then at the same time, it does because most of them have gut issues. I just haven't transposed it over to, infertility and looking at that. But I do have a lot of those kind of patients. So at the same time, I just got to get this niche narrowed down and just stay on it. And I have too many interests. Maybe I'm ADD or something. Or so ADD I can't, you know. But I know you can have more than one avatar, and it's like I get
Absolutely.
that. What's that?
Absolutely. You can have as many niches as you want.
So, but I don't know if I need to separate those emails out to those people or just keep doing a blanket email of all these different varieties. I'm trying to get it so that I a little bit more clarity to it. But at the same time, I get these 40, 30, 40-year-old women already having heart issues. And so I can do a lot with that with between chiropractic and doing functional medicine with that, and these some of them had heart attacks. I'm good at doing that too. So it's like I kind of like that age group, but I also like the fact I rather do them than these Medicare patients, and it's like, I mean, Medicare patients are just, they're a lot of work. They're a lot of work. They're messed up. They're screwed up. So I guess I'm just looking at clarity. I think that's part of the reason we're not growing, because I don't think I have clear enough on that. So I'm going back and putting a lot of the things you've done in the early ons of doing the intake and doing the consultation makes so much sense. And I know that's the stuff I need to work on. But it would be nice if I can just zone in a little bit more clarity on the niche. Maybe, I don't know, maybe that's not it, because I'm looking at what's between the ears. And I built huge practice when I was in the Midwest. I had probably the largest practice in the state of Nebraska for probably 20 years. And now I'm just kind of like, okay, what do I do now? Kind of get it zoned in. And it's like I have all this stuff and I'm just trying to think what's the best. I just not getting, I'm doing a little more meditation on it regularly, just trying to get it clear in my head, I guess.
Let me help you unpack this, okay?
Okay.
It's not my first rodeo on this.
Probably not.
Um, there are several things that we want to get clear about. Step one is, how do you actually want to practice? What niche markets do you want to work with, and why? And I guess I would start here. And for personal reasons, you may or may not want to answer it, but at least I want you to think about this. Financially, could you stop working today? Do you have enough money saved that you can stop working today?
No, no.
Okay. So then that matters. If the answer to that is yes, I don't have to, then that really takes a lot of pressure off thinking, I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to change my entire practice, and what if it takes a while to build up the rest of this? But in this particular case, we wouldn't do that. I did
Mm-hmm.
that. I did that. I let go of all insurance and I dropped down 50%. And
Well, I did that, and it's
I
exactly
wasn't covering overhead. Yeah, so like
what
I'm just saying there are things you want to have thought through. So in this particular case, okay, I do need the money, great. So now the question is, who do I actually love to work with? And the three questions in figuring out the niche is, who do I love to work with?
Mm-hmm.
What am I really good at? And
Mm-hmm.
is there a need for it in my community? So I
Mm-hmm.
love working with women who can't get pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Am I good at that? Yeah, I got a good skill set at that. Are there women in my area that have that problem? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I love working with people who are, on their way to a heart attack. Do I have the skill set to help them? No, I don't. Okay, we'll get the skill set. But I'm assuming from what you're saying that you have the skill set to do any of these. Is that true?
Well, it's just done it for so many years.
So you
Yeah,
do. The answer is
yeah.
yes, I do. Again, people will tell me this, like, I want to work with children, but I haven't been through ICPA and I haven't done anything. Well, then you need to get that skill set. That's not you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So step one is, who do I want to work with? And we're going to get right back to it, but I need to show you an overview first, and then we're going to come back to it and we'll dive in for you. Now, you said something which is really classic, which is, you know, I help these people. Well, I mean, then there's chiropractic. And what I want to do is I want to look at the umbrella. And the umbrella is, I help people get healthy, stay healthy, and have the best life possible. Or I help women get pregnant, or I help people not have heart attacks, or whatever it is. That's the umbrella. How do I do it? Well, I use chiropractic care to get the nervous system working better. I use functional medicine to make sure we're getting the right nutrients, decongesting the organs, decreasing the inflammation, cellular detox, whatever it is that you do. I use whatever for whatever. So these are the tools that I use to accomplish this. So far, so good.
Mm-hmm.
And most everybody needs most of these. A woman who can't get pregnant most likely is going to have some metabolic issues and
Mm-hmm.
some nervous system issues.
Right.
A person with heart issues, most likely dietary, metabolic, nervous system. So the tools that we use, we're going to use the tool out of the toolbox when appropriate. but I don't want to call it like chiropractic versus non-chiropractic for this conversation because it's
Mhm.
just you. It's just what you do.
Mhm.
So far, so good.
Yeah.
Because that's where
Yes.
we get in trouble. Well, but I'm not doing chiropractic. There's like a whole different business. It doesn't need to be. The person in front of you needs help. You have a bunch of arrows in your quiver. Pull out the arrows that are going to help that person.
Mhm.
We can set that up very specifically because certain things take a minute and certain things take an hour. But I want to look at who do I want to help, and then I'm going to use whatever tools I need to do to help them. So far, so good.
Mhm.
Now, presently, you've got a practice full of people that see you and have seen you for years, and they're getting older.
Mhm.
Okay. A, do I want to continue to work with them?
Very clear about that one.
Okay. So it's a question you want to start to think about because if the answer to that is yes, then we're now going to look at what else we want to build, and we're going to build a practice on top of our present practice.
Mhm.
Build another practice for women who want to get pregnant. And these two may do this and they may not. It
Mhm.
depends. But the first thing I have to think through is, do I want to continue to work with those people? If the answer to that is no, then there's a very different thought process about that. I can refer them out to somebody else. I could bring on an associate to just take care of that. I have doctors that I coach that have associates come in and do the regular adjusting, and they do the Q&RT and the functional neurology and that stuff that they love. They know that people need the regular adjusting, they just don't want to do that. So I'm not saying that you need the answer at the moment, but the first thing, and I want you to write this down, is do I want to continue to work with the older people, yes or no? And then
Well,
that's going to be an important piece of this. So far, so
but
good?
my thoughts were, which you just hit earlier, is to build a practice on top of the other one,
Perfect. So
and
then,
that was my intent. And so I guess I just got caught up so much, and that's kind of what I've been doing. It's just I need to focus more on what I was to build the practice on top of the other one, and because I don't want to, because a lot of these people I would not push them out because they've a lot of them have been the gamut and they respond well with what they're getting done. So I don't want to just
I'm with
blow.
you, but this is your life. I don't know how many years we have left, but however they are, I want you to live the life you want. So I don't want you doing it because you think you have to out of some loyalty. You could bring on another Gonstead practitioner that could take care of these people, or you can refer them to another Gonstead practitioner, or you can continue to work with them. I don't care. I just don't want you to do it out of I have to. I want you to do it out of a
No, but I like the concept building on top of the other one and not feel like I have to choose.
good. So now for this conversation, we have B, build the practice on top. So
Mhm.
now we need to clarify who the person is. For this conversation, I'm just going to say women who want to get pregnant. It could be whatever, but just to make this easy. So now it is who, and that is women who want to get pregnant. And it is what, and the sticky message that would cause a woman who wanted to get pregnant that happened to see online or hear from a friend, what would they need to hear to make them say, oh, I want to see her? Well, that's simple. What's that? She can help me get pregnant.
Mhm.
Okay, so that's the message. And now the question is, how do I get the message in front of them? Okay, so in our marketing module, and we'll be going against that through that in the club either next week or the next week. But it's internal things I do, external things I do, social media and reactivation. Those are the only four possibilities. Okay, so here's the deal. You asked the question, do I just send out these kind of general emails? No. There's an old adage, marketing to everyone is like marketing to no one.
Correct.
So just putting out information, there's such overwhelm that people aren't looking unless there's a heading that says, can't get pregnant, I can help. They'll read that email. Now, is that the message you want for the person with the heart issue? No, they would have a different marketing campaign.
So I
No,
really need to go into patient load as they are and eliminate, almost divide them out in a sense. Do you
not
know what I'm saying?
almost. You want to tag them. You want to tag them for the message that they should be hearing. Now, just for fun, the guy that I work with, and I'm just about to start doing this for myself right now, he's got an AI program he's been working on for over a year. And in all formats, whether it is like social media, or it's a text, or it's a phone call, or it's an email, it goes to this AI that has read everything about you and your manual and your technique. It knows everything about you. It knows, and it can be the voice for you, and it can be on the phone and speak for you, not your voice, but its voice, but it sounds like a real person.
Mhm.
And it carries on a conversation with these people, and it finds out what they're actually interested in, and it customizes every response to what they're looking for. So it would never be sending information on heart to women who wanted to get pregnant, and vice versa. So far, so good. So there's all kinds of technology that can really do that for you now. But as a construct,
Mhm.
yes, you want to clarify the message, and that is the message you're keeping with these people. There's information overload. We have a very small shot at getting their attention and getting them to take action. And if it's a general thing, we've lost.
So this AI program is, I just found that one that was advertised and I was checking in on it next Tuesday, but it talks about them downloading. I don't know if I'm in that, how far I go with it, but they talk about downloading a software that's AI that would do exactly what you were talking about.
Yeah, lots of people trying to get into the market right now. Some are great, some suck. You
Yeah.
can figure that out. If you're interested, I'll connect you with my guy. His is killer. I went through it over the weekend. I was blown away.
Mhm.
The phone conversation I had with this AI.
This AI person, this
Yeah,
AI whatever.
yeah, it was amazing. But
That Go ahead.
regardless of that, because that's a kind of a rabbit hole.
Right.
For sure, I've got these people, and I'm going to continue to take care for them. And then I've got this other practice I want to build. I know who they are. I know what the message is. I know how I'm going to get the message in front of them, and I'm
Hmm.
going to build a practice specifically for them. Under the umbrella, might I be doing mm, Gonstead chiropractic care with them?
Hmm. Yeah.
Of of course. You would do that if they had subluxations. If they didn't, you wouldn't.
Hmm.
Might you use functional medicine or functional nutrition? Yes, if they had a need, right? So you remember, you help people get healthy. The tools you use are the ones that are best going to serve them. It's not a cookie cutter thing. I do what you need
Hmm.
to get you the result you're looking for.
Got it. Okay. I guess, yeah, that makes more sense just to build it. Yeah, I totally get it. And I think what I was doing, I was trying to just blanket everybody into the same email, and I can't do that. And it is a problem
That's
because
where the
I've
confusion comes
created I've created this whole pregnancy thing over here. I got all the emails, everything ready to go. It's just finding the right person that can assist me getting it done. And that's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, do that. Definitely talk to my guy about this. This is his, what I say in Hawaii, Kuiana. It's his forte. This is what he does. He's great at this.
Well, if you could pop me the email or whatever,
I
and I'll call him.
I will, give me 1 second. Roxanne.
Well, this kind of that, just to have somebody say build it on top of the other. I don't know why I wasn't. I knew that it just wasn't. It wasn't settling
Yeah.
for.
And then inside of the practice, if you're open room or not, or people are waiting, can they both be here getting adjusted at the same time?
Yeah.
Of course, because we're adjusting for subluxation, but why they came here. Now, might you alter some of the things on your walls?
Hmm.
Yes. I just interviewed John Turner, and he does the QST and QNRT. I
Hmm.
coach a lot of QNRT doctors. And we were talking about, he's got a very busy street. I've done his seminars at his office, and I've seen him personally. And he has a very busy street. And he said over 20 years, he had two or three people come from his sign. And
Yeah.
then he changed his sign to Brain Function Clinic or something like that. And he has two or three a week walk in saying, I got brain issues. What are you guys doing? So the smaller the niche, the bigger the response. Last thought on that. A guy named, oh God dang it, what is his name? I can never remember this guy's name. I can see his face. Jim, who's the old time marketing mailer guru? Uh, Dan Kennedy. Thank you. Dan Kennedy. Dan Kennedy goes deep into this whole thing. The smaller the niche, the bigger the response. So he says, I want you to imagine that you can help you help golfers, okay? And you stand on a roof at a bar and you go, I help golfers. That's your marketing. Then imagine you want to work with red-headed left-handed golfers. Red-headed left-handed golfers. And amazingly enough, there's a magazine called Red-Headed Left-Handed Golfers. And you put an ad in that magazine, which is going to get a bigger response. Like that one, the smaller the niche, the bigger the response. What you do about it is what you do about it. I'm going to make sure your nervous system is functioning at its. I'm going to make sure like what you do about it's the same. How
Mm,
you get them to get there is different.
okay. Yeah. Yeah. I can see if I just put the head down, it could go quite quickly the other way. And those, like you said, they're either going to come together or they're not going to come together. And I can see that happening as well. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it's a real simple thing when you get clear about who you want to work with, right? What you can do to help them, what the message is. Once you've done that, it's really easy. And again, you can have as many niche markets as you want. You just have a different marketing campaign for each of them.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Not separating emails probably was the biggest thing. It's just how I have to get it set up so they're collected differently going
The-
through like
They'll,
MailChimp.
they'll come in through a different funnel.
Correct. Correct.
So they'll come in through a different funnel because you'll have oh my God, I did not get wet sleep for 2 days, and this is what happens. An ethical bribe. So you'll do some kind of an ad or something, or you do a talk, you do an ethical bribe. I'll give you this, put in your name and information, and now it goes into this funnel, and they're tagged. Like you guys are tagged in my CRM for club
Okay.
because and then you get the club messages. You're also tagged for hour to power, so you get those. But if you weren't tagged, you wouldn't get those. So
Right.
one of the things at the beginning you're going to do is you're going to send out a survey, several different surveys, try and get people and just say, I am now teaching them subjects on these, I'm helping with these, whatever it is. And I'm just interested in what might interest you so I can really send you specific information that you care about. I don't want to waste your time with things you don't care about. And when they click on one of those, it'll tag them. And then they'll get into that either A, you have a nurture sequence or
Uh-huh.
you have an AI. If the AI starts a conversation. And if it's a nurture sequence, it's a series of emails or texts or whatever.
So this software this guy had, the AI actually helps talk him through it a little bit as well. Holy cow.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean, it's almost scary in a sense.
it is.
But
Yeah.
but AI even just in the past 6 months, what we're seeing is totally like, yeah, it's kind of like, yeah, it
And
is.
it's in its infancy. What it's gonna be able to do is just really beyond our wildest dreams.
Well, that one I saw that I was going to follow up on Tuesday, I just was curious. I'd set up a time just to talk. I just wanted to see it, is what I wanted to see. But it's like even that, it was for chiropractors, and I don't think it was just mainly chiropractors actually. But it's interesting that it could do the whole thing, and it's just like you said, having a conversation is kind of it's freaky. It's really freaky.
Do that. Have the conversation, talk to my guy, and then let me know which you liked better. I'm really interested in that. Jim, had a comment?
Yeah, well, a year ago, AI, when you're using Chat GPT and stuff, it used to be able to reference like 10 files.
Yeah,
And so that's the Chat GPTs. And then now it can reference 10,000 files. 10,000. So like Russ says, all his information he's ever done, it will reference all of that to give you an answer. Incredible.
it's
You
great.
know, Joe was just doing this on a call with 30 doctors, and he said, I want you to, all of you, I want you to call this number right now and start a conversation. And he said, we can have up to 10,000 before you get a busy signal. So we've only got 30. It's the same phone number. 30 people called at once. They all started a conversation, they all started different conversations that went in different directions for like a minute. And then they all hung up. And it was like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
phenomenal. It's
Yeah.
Hmm.
crazy.
I'm curious on that one now. I'm just like, just
As soon as we hang up, as soon as I post stuff, I'll get you his content. You definitely want to check it out. But as far as this other thing just goes, all we needed to unravel for
oh,
you
what's yeah.
is two things. One, I can keep these folks and build on top. I can do the kinds of folks I love to work with, and again, as many as you want. But I do need to change the message to them. So again, just for fun, in the end, if you were giving a talk and there was, you know, the elderly and there were athletes and there were pregnant women wanting to get pregnant, etc. In the end, if you were to say, now, regardless of why you're here, you might be this, you might be this, you might be this, you might be this. Here's the lens through which we see reality. So you might have a nervous system that is not working right. If you were an athlete, here's how that would affect you. If you couldn't get pregnant, here's how that would affect you, right? We also look through the lens of functional nutrition. So if you're an athlete, here's how that would affect you. You know, you can bring them all together at some point. You just to get them in the room, it's separate.
Yeah, totally. That was well put. This is recorded, right?
I
I
hope
want
so.
to hear it again.
Yeah, yeah,
I think the funnel thing, I don't know why I didn't think of them creating a separate funnel for each one. I have it already like that, but I mean, I already have it set up as already done. At least probably 90% done, but I just didn't think of taking it that I just had a mind block on that one. Wow, that's like out of the box now. And go back to chat and then take some of my stuff I've written before and rewrite it. And I could be like, holy Toledo.
yeah. Absolutely. Good for you. So good. Time well spent that it just helped you unravel that a bit. And if you go back and watch it, you can see that confusion. But as soon as you got that penny to drop, your face looked different. You're like, oh, okay, I got this.
I just kind of was getting irritated because it's like I got this block. I'm trying to, and then I got to hire somebody. Then I got to explain it to them, and they're going to think, what the hell is she talking about? I have it appear somewhere,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's just finding that person that could understand that. And it's just okay. Maybe I need to be simpler, 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 and that's true. But at the same time, I have a bigger picture. I want. I know I'm not. I don't. I want a bigger picture. I have another agenda on my head in my head. So
Yeah, good. So that's, again, that's where you start. Who do I really want to work with?
okay.
To clarify what that is, what the sticky message would be, how will I get the message out? How will I market to those people? And then what am I going to do to deliver the goods? Well, you already got that part.
But I like how you pull it together at the end because technically everybody needs it. It's just that's not what their concept is.
Right. So in my
Helpful, very helpful.
in the this one module we talk about I want to help women get pregnant who couldn't get pregnant. Well, how are we going to do it? We're going to make sure they are getting proper nerve supply, they're getting proper nutrients, like however you practice. In your case, proper nerve supply, proper nutrients, and decreasing toxicity. Great. I want to be a better athlete. I can help you do it. How are you going to do it? Proper nerve supply. But it doesn't matter. Your
No.
solution will always be the same. It's the
Right.
lens through which you view reality. And again, not everyone needs everything. You do what they need. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jim,
Mm-hmm.
anything you'd add to that? That was a fair chunk.
I think Joe's an awesome guy. I think I'd work with him more, but it's just kind of hard being in New Zealand. But he's got such a big market in the States. But he's a really awesome guy. Um, yeah, I think I'd just start playing with ChatGPT a little bit myself, and start learning because how far is that rabbit hole? Nobody knows. But there's some pretty cool stuff there. Um, and there's Claude, there's ChatGPT, there's several different AI models. So yeah, it's good. And with reference to how you would like to practice, you say you had two practices?
What happened? Yeah, what happened is I have a younger brother who was a DC, and I practiced in Omaha for 20 years, and then I left, and all my this guy bought me out, but everybody, all my patients went to my brother who was across town, and so he died like 3 or 4 years ago, and I started going back to try to help him a little bit to see if we could keep the practice going, and then he passed away really quickly, and so I just kept going back and did this small practice on the side, and so I am in the state of Washington, and I didn't know if I would stick around here, so I started building that practice up there, out there. But I was wanting to build it more towards the kids and the women, and not, and this one kind of not do a lot with it. But I just find it's not sustainable that way. So I go back to Omaha about once a month, and then I do some of those patients virtually on nutrition, and then I go back and I treat, which is another niche. I actually treat them with all the nutritional work, and then some of them still see their chiropractors back there. I don't interfere with the chiropractor. If they're happy, there's no reason for me to be involved with that part of it. So they still get treatment, and I push them hard to keep up with their regular adjustments, and then I do all their nutritional work. And it's gotten to be a lot of women that got complications from the COVID shot. That's what it ended up being, and that's what I got. And then I got, like I said, there's some that have had heart issues, not good, but so I either got to let that go back there, or but my family, most of my family is there, so I go back once a month and I treat family members because he's gone, so I treat family members, and so I would like to build that up back there, but I just have never gone in there and made it real clear. I've been trying to do some things now, trying to get that the fact that I was back, because I get phone calls out here fairly regularly. I heard you're in town, or whatever. And so I don't know. I'm just kind of, I probably need to get more solid, but right now it seems to be working, going back and forth. Other doctors do it, I hear other doctors do it. I don't know. It's kind of had to get out of here during COVID. So that was the other reason I did it as well. So
And again, start with what you want. The truth is about people used to ask me all the time, will you go to Japan? I lived in Maui. Would you go to Japan? I have the whole thing set up. I could get you all set up.
yeah,
No. We go to hunt. No, this is all I want. I have a friend who does that. He practices in Japan, Germany, and I think Sweden.
huh,
And he just goes from one to the next to the next. It's all set up for him. It's just how you want to practice. There are more people who want what you offer than there is you.
yeah,
So what I want to have you look at is, am I doing it because they're asking me to, or am I doing it because this is the life I want? That's step one. How do I want to practice? What do I want to do? That's step one. And then just remember there's so many opportunities out there, way more than you have time for. Clarify what you want first. Yeah.
yeah.
That doesn't matter what age, but obviously as we all age, it becomes a bit more finite. So we really have to get more and more clear on what you really want.
Yeah.
Warren Buffett says this great thing that he says, look, if you're good at 20 things, well, you only work on the top three things because all those other 17 things distract you from the three, or whether it be five, but distract you from, all the 17, even though you're good at it and you love it and you this, that, and the other, it really distracts you from your three things that you would want the most in life.
In what's his name's book, The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks, he says that the thing that kills genius is greatness. People spend time doing things they're great at, but they're not a genius. Because we're all a genius at something. That's the only thing you should be doing.
Hmm.
is where your zone is. Same concept on that. So really get clear about how you want to practice, what it would look like. The rest of it will come to that'll all come together, but you got to unwind that first, or they're pulling from too many places, and then there's
But
just
it is kind of interesting though, and maybe you see these doctors as they've gone in practice for a long time. I have been when I was in Omaha. I mean, you can see as things evolved to this point, it's just like it's the clear. I don't know how I want to say this. It's getting that clarity all the way through because I ran a pretty big practice many years ago, and then I came out here, not as big by no means, but I also had a child, so there wasn't I don't had the time to build it out that big. But I find it interesting at this time of my life that I should not have more clarity. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
that you're thinking you should have more clarity than you do at the moment.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
what
not sure. I'm not sure I'm finding that as I'm aging. But I just would say let's not shoot on you in that particular case. It is what it is, and find the clarity that you want. You
yeah,
know,
I think it's just yeah, I totally. But at the same time, I'm looking at. I get that you need people start to wind down. I don't feel like I want to wind down. That's the problem. Maybe if I felt like that, and maybe I
then
wouldn't feel
then
like
then
that. But
don't.
you
I
know,
mean, yeah, don't. But then again, that's you finding out what you want first.
okay, I'm okay. I'm just gonna keep going with the direction I was thinking in the first place. Have you met
Yeah.
Captain?
Hey, Captain.
He's a chiropractic patient. They're putting him down, the poor little dude. I have a patient, he was like a service dog to her. And somebody, I think, kicked him. And he's not very big. He's only like between 5, 6 pounds. They kicked him and knocked his lower lumbars out. And he was down for the count for almost 3 months. Couldn't get up, lost about half body weight. Started adjusting him. This is not uncommon, but started adjusting his little back. About one segment, that's all we needed to work on. He started walking. Took about 6 months of getting back. Now he stays with me all the time.
Cool.
And he's a chill. He just chills. He's very sweet, very sweet. But
Cool.
he's very needy.
Beauty. All right, we're gonna head out. I am I gotta get sleep, man. Tonight this full moon, it's 2-0 full moon for me. Laying up at night going, are you kidding me? Not again. All right, so great information, Jim. Good for you, man. I mean, what a turnaround. That's fantastic. Uh, Dr. Roxanne, I hope that helps
It
unwind.
helped a lot. No, it helped a lot. I'm it's getting me. Yeah, it helped a lot. I would say that.
I'll send you that link. If you happen to be listening to this and you're interested and want more information, let me know. I'll send you the link. As always, much love and aloha.
Thank you.